You're wearing Project One, everything, and it's all behind us.
Yep.
What started Project One Nutrition?
My son coming to me and saying, Dad, I need 5,000 units of creatine.
It's better than a Walmart greeter.
I wanted to be a Walmart greeter. How do you know about that? Did I tell you that?
No.
Seriously?
Okay, you were talking about 5-year goals for your employees.
5-year goals.
Personal goals.
Yes.
What are yours?
Mine? We go to Eddie V's, Basil Hayden. Old Fashions, Basil Hayden.
Okay.
Right? Or the Blantons, obviously.
Are you sponsored by Basil Hayden?
I am not. No. Because that's my biggest issue in life is trust issues. I've had them since I was a young kid. Just trust issues. You know, I was always waiting for someone to bail. Always waiting for someone to step away or do something. My mom and dad still live in Plum.
What do they think about what you've done? Are they proud of you?
That's another challenge. I haven't talked to my parents in 10 years.
All right, buddy, you ready?
Yep, let's do it.
Welcome to the Barbells and Bourbon podcast, the podcast that allows real people to tell real stories. I am your big, bald, bearded, barbell lifting, bourbon drinking son of a bitch, Shaun. And joining me today is Pat
Hello.
Williams. What's up, buddy?
Excited to be here.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Welcome to our home.
Yes.
Been looking forward to this conversation.
Is that a good thing?
It's a good thing. Yeah, so
Well, we've known each other for a while, right? So
we
but
met
not known each other.
probably 15-ish years ago.
Yep.
We played softball together.
Correct.
You
Yes.
owned Reaction Nutrition
Correct.
at that time.
Yes.
You sponsored our softball team. Bright red jerseys, the whole nine.
The whole 9 on that one. That's right. They were red. I can't. Yeah,
But
wow.
we connected through your brother-in-law, Matt.
Right. Yeah, and you got me involved with that, sponsoring and playing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we appreciated your sponsorship because we needed it.
Support the community in any way possible, right?
Yeah, we were sponsored by Pugs at the time for a few years, and we were trying to change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And you brought in a few new guys, some
Yeah.
fresh faces,
Couple. Yeah.
which was nice.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's how we met. Where are you from?
I am born and raised in Plum Boro, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
So
Since day one.
like
Yeah.
across the
Literally
street.
right here, right?
Yeah, you pulled in. You're like, I didn't realize I was only 5 minutes away from
Yeah,
you.
right. I mean, I live in Murraysville over the last 3 years, but yeah, born and raised. My kids were born and raised Plum. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Plum's a small town.
it's a small town, but a big town.
It is, yeah. I guess depends on how much you want to get involved with certain situations, activities, and coaching and everything else. You get to know everybody. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you know Plum is the second biggest borough in Pennsylvania?
I did. I thought it was the biggest, but second biggest. Okay.
Do you know what the biggest is?
I don't.
Sugar Creek.
I would have never even guessed that.
I don't know where it is.
I didn't even know there was a Sugar Creek. I'm like,
Sugar
okay.
Creek boroughs. So we're in second place.
Nice. Nice.
But so yeah, I did say that I've been looking forward to having you on because you intrigue me, Pat. You dabble in so many different things from like a entrepreneurial, vantage point, and you're bouncing around between different things a lot. And I want to know, like, what created that driven, creative person, and that's why you're here today.
Well, yeah. Go ahead.
We'll get
Yeah.
to the reason why.
Yeah.
But first, would you like to enjoy some bourbon with me?
Yeah, let's do that. It's been a little while for bourbon, but we're gonna go back to one that's unique: Basil Hayden toast.
Ooh, okay.
The toast. I'm a big Basil Hayden fan, by the way.
Have you had the dark rye yet?
I don't drink much anymore, but when I did, yeah, all the Basil Haydens.
Yeah.
But when the toast came out, I'm like, okay, this is unique. Let's try this.
Yeah.
But that'd be my go-to. When we go to Eddie V's, Basil Hayden. Old Fashions, Basil Hayden.
Okay.
Right? Or the Blantons,
Are
obviously.
you sponsored by Basil Hayden?
I am not. No. I don't want to be. Perfect. Thank you.
I'm a heavy pour. Sorry.
You're fine.
It's bad.
You're
habit.
fine.
So you're decked out in Project One Nutrition attire. And we are surrounded by Project One Nutrition supplements.
Yes.
And you were nice enough to bring me the new electrolytes
New electrolytes.
and P1 test.
Ooh, yes. P1 test.
Focus on and we can get into kind of what makes all of these different products unique.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
But cheers, my friend.
Yes, thank you for having me. Yep.
Is it what you remember?
Just what I remembered. Got that little bite to it, and
refreshing.
yes.
All right, Pat. You're obviously a creative person. You're a driven person. There's something that made you the way you are. And typically it's past experiences, childhood, influences, whether it's family or friends. So I want to go back and hear about young Pat and slowly walk towards present day Pat.
You got it.
And realize kind of what created you.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. As we talked about, born and raised in Plum. My parents were both school teachers. My dad was a math teacher and then ended up at Penn Hills High School, and then ended up running the entire area for advanced mathematics within like Woodland Hills, Gateway, Plum, Penn Hills. He had a hand in a written book back then, because older, right? For
Smart
Princeton
guy.
University.
Wow.
Right? So, I mean, some big deal things. So math kind of is my forte. Had no choice but to be good at math in my house.
Yeah.
But math and science were my strong points, and it's things I enjoyed doing, right? So, born and raised in Plum, my dad's work ethic is what got me to where I'm at, right? He was a grinder in every aspect of the way to be a supportive, the man of the house and supportive household.
Yeah.
As far as family income and so forth goes, and middle class household. 2 sisters, one older, one younger. I'm the middle child.
Okay.
As my Chrissy, my younger sister, Jen, my older sister, nieces and nephews all along the line as well. But just watching him and be a school teacher, but also, back then a lot of school teachers had side jobs, which he was a painter. Did a lot of painting, and I just remember being 6, 7, 8 years old going with him.
Okay.
Right, and then $20 here, I'd get $20 there. Here, carry drop cloths, paint, do this, and just started my work ethic. Had chores around the house, cutting grass, doing mulch, whatever it might be, taking care of the pool, rocks, you name it. Pool weeds mostly when I was in trouble.
Now, did he sort of like, I don't want to say force you to do this stuff, or did you sort of kind of just follow in his footsteps naturally?
I don't want to say he forced it, but there was an understanding that I needed to do certain things in life. Some of them might not like. That, hey, this is what we're doing today. It wasn't like he forced me, but I knew I had to do it. Right?
Okay,
And
so
it was part of my daily regimen, saying, hey, be organized, be hardworking. Because you always used to say, if you're a hard worker, you'll be just fine. Just grind.
I couldn't agree more.
Just grind.
So he was trying to build your character, sort
Yeah.
of indirectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. And by him leading by example is what it was more so than anything, which I try to do for my kids, right? Lead by example. So actions speak louder than words type of deal. We were always told that.
Yeah.
So your actions dictate a lot of who you are, so.
So you're following your dad around doing these different odd jobs and laboring, working hard, hustling at a young age.
Yep.
You said you had a math and science background. So were you really good in school? Did you get good grades? Did you excel?
I did enough just to get by so I could play sports. But with math and science, I did well because I enjoyed them, right? Unfortunately, the other categories. Now, if I'd go back, it would change, but it's like, let's just get through this so I can play football on Friday nights. Let's get through this so I can make sure I'm playing center field for the baseball team 2 days a week,
Got it.
right? So it's like, okay, I wasn't a bad student, but I wasn't like breaking any records by any means.
So you didn't like really fully apply yourself.
No, I didn't give
just
all the
enough,
effort.
yeah.
Unfortunately, now I know it sounds crazy, but in business, it's like, okay, the grind aspect, the scheduling aspect, being passionate, those type of things. And I knew I wanted to be in business when I was younger. I would go to flea markets at 10, 11 years old and sell baseball cards every Sunday morning before church.
Wow.
Right? And it'd be like, okay, that's my business mindset. I want to do business. So I loved sports. I loved the business mindset. So,
That's very interesting.
Yeah. So that's where the business side came in.
So graduate high school.
Graduate
you go
high
to college.
school. Yep. Got a surprise 2-year degree in finance. But the science part, I kind of left that behind. I did have a child at a young age, 19. So it's like, okay, working 100 hours at 3 jobs, 100 hours a week, plus school, right, to get the associate's degree. And it's like, okay, this is not what I signed up for, but you do what you have to do.
Adulting was thrown in your face really
Right
quick.
away, right away.
Wow.
So growing up fast, looking back, not mature. I look at 19-year-olds and I'm like, oh man, how did we do this, right? We found a way.
I think so. That's a good point. Is you're never ready to have kids or get married or
Never.
start a business. You just gotta try it, and you'll learn along the way.
I think it's hilarious sometimes when people are like, oh yeah, we're waiting to have kids till we're ready. I'm like, you don't understand. You're never going to be ready because it's just a game changer in a positive way.
Yeah.
Right. But you also have to have the mindset of, okay, now I have this person that I need to take care of. So it's not about me anymore.
Yeah.
But it's about that person.
A lot of it's common sense and just responsibility.
Yeah. How am I going to raise this kid? I'm like, do your best.
Figure it out.
You do your best.
So you have a kid at 19.
Yes.
I assume that sort of, I don't want to say put your career on hold, but it probably took you down a slightly different path, maybe.
Oh, absolutely. Now that I look back, it's like God's hand has been on everything, because I was going to go to school to be a school teacher.
Just
Let
like
me be a
Dad.
gym teacher and a coach. I'd be happy, right? And that was my goal. Play baseball in college, and then be a teacher, graduate, become a gym teacher, and just coach. But yeah, it changed it. And I worked at Mellon Bank, night shift. I worked at John Anthony's on the weekends, where I met my great friend Donato Coluccio, who's now executive chef. He was at Capitol Grill. He was corporate chef at Capitol Grill for a while, and now he runs the Renaissance. And it's like all from John Anthony's kitchen, right? Little
Wow.
kitchen and plum,
That is
right?
crazy.
So yeah, we're great friends, still talk and so forth. But used to get free meals from there. Thank you. When I couldn't afford it and all that stuff. But coming from nothing, and 19 and newborn, and then my wife at the time was working as well and going to school and just making ends meet. But we had a lot of help. You did.
Like family.
Yeah,
and,
family, friends. My grandmother was a saint. Used to watch SAC a couple times a week.
Yeah.
So I mean, it helps you and look back and appreciate where you came from.
So I wouldn't say you struggled, but you'd
be surprised.
It was a rough time.
Yeah, it was a rough time. I tell people don't understand it. It's like, yeah, when I was 19, we used to go to the North for Sales Mall. There was a flea market there, and used to buy expired mac and cheese, Kraft mac and cheese, 25 cents a box.
No way.
So I didn't eat hot dogs for like 15 years, and mac and cheese. I'm like, no, I'm never eating this again.
You lived off of it.
Lived off it. Like, if you want to learn how to eat $5 a week, I can teach you. But those are
Wow.
things, appreciate what you get now, right? So
Just gonna say that.
yeah, there's
It,
things
it
that
makes you humble.
yeah, and builds character.
Yeah. That's
Right.
wild.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I see your success now, and again, you don't realize what someone's been through to get to this point. You weren't handed a silver spoon.
No,
Middle class
not by any
family.
means. Yes.
Your parents made ends meet.
Yeah.
Your dad worked multiple jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, you weren't born out of a
No.
wealthy
No,
family. So
not at all. But yeah, no, that's the appreciative part. It's like, okay, there's different seasons in life, and that was one season that built me for the rest of my life, right?
Yeah.
Because I do anything for my son, now sons and daughter and granddaughter, but no, it's just the work ethic that had to get put in, and it's like, all right, I can't afford to lose.
yeah,
You
but
know?
a lot of people relying on you.
Yeah. There's going to be failures along the way, which there was many, right? And it's like, okay, winning is people that refuse to fail.
Yeah.
When they fail, they step back up and keep going.
You learn from it.
Right. You learn from it and keep moving forward, and
Yeah.
again, everything I do, I try to teach my sons and other young people out there, like, look, you're going to lose, you're going to fall. Just get up.
Yeah.
Just keep moving. I've been there. Now that I'm going to be 50.
Old head.
I know, right? the oldest of everyone around again. So I'm like, dang, this is where when I was a 19-year-old dad, I was the youngest like by 10 years. So I was coaching. All the coaches were 35. I'm 25. I'm
Yeah.
like, man, this guy has to calm down because I was high energy coach. But going back, right? So one of my first jobs after was setting appointments for Nationwide Insurance. I worked for my brother-in-law a couple hours a night, 5 days a week, setting appointments. That was my first sales job. Because believe it or not, before in high school, I wasn't a big talker. Like, they're like, man, he's so quiet. How's he going to do this
Kind
job?
of introverted, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, you do what you have to do. And I was did well at it. And then, left there. And then a few years later, started at my first sub company.
Okay, so you stop eating hot dogs and mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Eventually, thank
Yeah,
God.
thank goodness.
So what your first supplement company? What made you think that you could do that? First of all,
Well, the first company I was with, SciFit, was down in Oakmont, PA. Worked there for them for 8 years. I was turned into the West Coast sales manager.
okay,
Just because of sales, I was getting on the phone, just pounding the phone and talking to people. This is before social media, websites were big. The first big website when I was there was bodybuilding.com, DeLuca Brothers and stuff like that. And the industry was so small. So you kind of knew everybody, like godfathered into all these things, right?
this
'Cause you
is
knew.
early '90s, right?
This is actually like 2000.
Okay,
So 24 years ago.
okay,
Yeah. Did it, loved it. I loved the science behind it. So, it was an ongoing process, learning every day. Just like anything, if you have a passion for it, you just want to read up on it and learn about it. And I learned that whole side of selling the product, but then also we manufactured. The company manufactured, so I learned the manufacturing side of things. So that's what really got us going. And then at a certain time, the East Coast manager, also the guy that hired me, we ended up partnering together on the next venture. We're like, okay, it's time for us to spin off and start Reaction Nutrition.
okay. So with SciFit,
Yes.
in order to sell a product, you should know everything possible about that product, what goes into it,
Yeah.
the pros and the cons of it, and that's what sort of took you into the formulation side.
Formulation
right?
side. Yeah, because you really know the synergies between ingredients, like what goes with what. And at that time, in 2000, it's only, like I said, 24 years ago, the dietary supplement industry was like a pizza shop.
Yeah.
There was no rules or regulations. So it's like, man, there's some crazy stuff out here, right? And it's like, okay. Ephedra was huge at the time, so sold a lot of ephedra-based products. Hydroxy cuts. We had our own brand, thermal cuts, Excedrin, Stacker 2s, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just dissecting and understanding each of those ingredients, what they do,
Okay.
right? And a lot of them are still used today,
Yeah.
So,
So you were a salesperson for SciFit, then you started Reaction Nutrition. Is that the point where you started formulating your own products?
Well, with SciFit, we had a lot of outsourced customers, private label customers. So we put products together for them. And there's some big name companies we used to do for, and so we'd formulate for them, give them prices, produce in bulk, and they'd put their label on it and send it out. And that's how we started that. And then with Reaction, we're like, okay, we started with that. Frank and I started that. 2009 is when that started on a $75,000 SBA loan that we needed signed off on.
Wow.
Right. So it's like, okay, that's how we started the company on a loan. So we got a machine, we got a building in Carnegie. We started producing. We started with a company called Complete Nutrition, who had 7 stores at the time, and helped us grow. They grew into 180 stores. So while they grew, we grew, and it's like, okay. And then we started the Recore brand, but we were mostly just a manufacturer.
Complete Nutrition, that's like, I've seen those in the Midwest.
They're all Midwest.
Okay.
Yeah. There's not many anymore.
Yeah.
The guy that owned it owned a bunch of GNCs, started Complete Nutrition, and then he sold all of it. And now it's mostly a website. And then the stores all branched off under different names and so forth. But yeah, it was big in the Midwest.
So you talked about you got a machine.
Yeah, encapsulation machine.
Okay.
Yes. So we were doing capsules only at the time.
Got it.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm trying to I picture like Willy Wonka's factory.
I kind of, yeah. That's at the beginning. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, if it takes 20 years ahead, and the rules and regulations are night and day. It's pretty much a pharmaceutical company now when you look at it, with all the paperwork and testing, third-party testing, certain approvals you need. I'm like, yep, we're just going to outsource this and let someone else handle it.
Not a
But
bad
yeah,
idea.
but we did a lot with Reaction Nutrition. We helped Feroce with First Form. It was myself, Frank, and Don Grace. 3 of us started helping produce First Form because Andy started with one store. Like, no one really knows his story either. He used to have a bed mattress in the back warehouses where he lived on his first store. That's how he started. And I'm like, you have to have a lot of respect for that, because what it is today is one of the largest supplement companies in the world. It's
Dang.
wild, right? So we helped him with that. We've done stuff for core nutritionals. We've done stuff for, at the time, Shreds was huge when Instagram first started. Arvin Law and Paige Hathaway, Joey Swoll, all those people were involved with that, right?
Wow.
We were part of that blow up. I remember the first call with Arvin, and he's like, yeah, I went 3 grams of arginine and everything. I'm like, for a diet product, huh? I'm like, you don't have a clue. And it's like, let me make something for you, right? So then we started doing that, and that's a fun part of the business. Really is.
So how do you get your hands on all these different companies?
Calls.
Okay, so you're actually reaching out to them.
Yeah, and then it got to a point where then they start reaching back out because they're like, oh, who makes your product? And they're like, oh, go see these guys. This is who you want to go see.
So you're the mad scientist.
I'll take that title now. Yeah, they keep throwing that around, so I'll take it now.
I didn't know that was a thing.
It was, yeah. They tease me at the office all the time today.
Okay.
And they're like, hey, give me your best pitch for P1 test. I'm like, I'm not a pitch guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's just a great formula. That's it. I love doing that stuff. That's my passion. I don't want to do the other stuff. But
So at what point did you feel like you finally made this breakthrough? Because you started from nothing, eating
Yeah.
mac and cheese and hot
Yeah,
dogs
yeah.
every day. At what point in this multiple company journey and did you feel like, okay, I really have something here?
yeah. Well, each step along the way is a new. I just look back and it's like, all right, it's a new season. I've learned this from this. So with SciFit, we learned so much, and then it's like, okay, the next season's here because there's some situations that happened where we didn't get paid bonuses we were deserved. So we're like, okay, let's start this next season. I'm 33 years old. Frank's same age. If we don't do it now, we're never going to do it. So we did that, and then had that for 8 years, and then sold that part off because, in my mind, a brand lasts 3 to 5 years. We were a manufacturer too, so we were able to extend that a little bit further. Sold that part off, waited a year, and then a neighbor of mine, I lived in Plum, Highlands, and said, hey, do you know how to make a website? I want to make a brand called American Made Nutrition. They're like, that name's not taken? I'm like, nope, it's not taken. It was 2016,
Yeah.
right? The whole election was getting ready to take off and everything else. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So he's like, I know how to make a website. I was like, I know, that's why I asked you. So I'm not IT friendly at all. He makes a site. We get a couple products out. All of a sudden we have a team of like 30 athletes. And it just started building some great formulas as well. And started taking off, moved from my basement again to a storefront on 286
Yep.
here. And then a friend of mine walked in, Seth and Bob. I'm like, okay, we didn't like each other at all. We're like, nope, because trust factor is always an issue. And we're like, no, I don't want to go in business with you. We're not going to business with you. And I think that was the big break, not knowing what that held. But that's when we're like, okay, we got something.
And
That's
that's Seth Feroce and Bobby Dotrick. Right?
Dotrick, yep. But 2 years, yeah. But then and there, it's like, okay, we came out with 4 products, a couple different flavors. Didn't come out with a protein. It was a stem product, a pump product, a carb powder, and one other, I don't remember. But came out with a couple products, and it just, the demographic just hit. And it's probably the first time my formulation's really been put out in the forefront. So I'm like, all right, my formulations are getting noticed. It was the first time that there was a product, and I had all the patent ingredients on the front.
Okay.
And to get different patent ingredient people to work together, is a headache. But through my years of relationships, I was able to get them to do it. And our first pump product, hydraulic, just crushed it.
How does that make you feel to see your product out there like that? Like,
it feels good, but you know, it feels good for other people more than me because I'm like, hey, this is just part of what I do, right? And they're like, hey, we saw your product here, we saw your product there, we see the logo here, logo there, you know, and I'm like, that's pretty cool, you know, that it's everywhere in the world, not just in your hometown,
Yeah.
you know, and that was pretty cool, you know. So that was a cool season of my life too. Was there for 4 years. Sold my shares in that back in 2022. What is it? 24, 20,
Yeah.
2021.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Do you?
I wanted to retire.
Oh, is that why?
No, it's just time for me to step away.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just I'm like I'm getting old.
Okay.
Just need to step away and
Because I was wondering
different
why you
mindsets.
departed. Okay.
Yeah, some different mindsets, and you know, it's just time for the next thing.
Yeah. The next season, as you said.
Next season, right? Learned a bunch from that. Got into some bad habits of drinking too much, and you know,
Just because of the
just
pressure
overworked.
of the business.
Yeah,
Because
it was a lot. I did a lot of the back end business, you know, and it's. I mean, again, it's until last year, until I stepped away from Max, I was working 100 hours a week for like my entire life, from when I was 19 to 46. I'm like, all right, my body needs a break, my mind needs a break. It's just wearing on me, and
Yeah.
you know, because it's a great company. They have a lot of great things going on.
Yeah.
I'm proud of what was built and
Yeah.
what's continued to be built, and my stamp's on that. So it's like, okay, when you can put your stamp on something, I think that's more to me than anything else.
Yeah. So that's
Right.
Axe and Sledge supplements for
Right.
those who aren't familiar.
Yeah. But
Now-
again, they're one of the biggest brands in the world.
Yeah.
Right. So to have your name attached to that, it's pretty cool.
Do you get royalties or anything on those products? Like, how does that work?
No, it's just a buyout.
Okay.
Yeah, just a buyout, and if it sells, there's more money behind it. But yeah, it's like, okay, and that's what I'm like. After selling that, I'm like, okay, I can retire. I'm like, 48 years old, can retire. I mean, how many 48-year-olds can say, hey, I don't need to work anymore if I don't want to?
That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty wild. I've never dreamed of having that happen. I'm like, I'm going to work till I die, type because I have to. Now I work because I want to.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
So you went essentially from a 20-year-old to a 45-year-old in a matter of 25 years.
Yeah.
Being
Yeah.
able to retire.
Being able to retire.
That's insane.
Yeah, yeah. And look, you can't live with, you got to live within your means, and you never know what tomorrow brings. So, you know, got to make sure you have a certain structure and discipline involved. And it's like, okay. But I mean, there's been a lot of ups and downs in between there, like a lot of lessons and a lot of, hey, man, I messed up, you know?
Yeah.
And that's being human, though.
Are your parents still living?
They are. My mom and dad still live in Plum.
What do they think about what you've done? Are they proud of you?
That's another challenge. I haven't talked to my parents in 10 years. There's one, you know, by choice. By choice. They're still alive. It's just sometimes you got to draw a line in the sand and break generational curses for certain things. And it was just time to like, hey, I need to, take a step back from certain situations because it's not good for your mental psyche.
All right. Yeah, I won't ask you to elaborate.
No, hey, look, I'm an honest. I'm an open book about most of the stuff. So it's like, hey, you know, it's just happened.
I mean,
Yeah.
What are those differences that made you want to step away? Do you want to elaborate?
It's a control thing for me. And it's been from my parents to my grandparents and so forth down the line. And it's like, oh, this got to end somewhere because not talking about problems creates more problems and distance. So there was a lot of sweep under the rug type of situations and not bringing it like face to face and handling the situation when it happens. Instead, no, we'll just forget about it. It never happened, but it did happen. And then you got to, and there's so many people that go through the same thing. I run a Monday men's group. We have like 25 people in it at the office, and surprised on how many people are in a similar situation that are afraid to speak about it. And I'm like, I'm not going to be afraid to speak about anything because I don't think I did anything wrong. Look, I love them to death. I never wish will ill on anybody, but sometimes you just got to draw that line and say, hey, for my family, this is what we need to do in my walls. So I'm not going to allow that to interfere or make me not be able to talk to my sons or I have a 10-year-old daughter, right? She'll be 10. or not be able to talk to her and say, hey, this is life. We're going to have disagreements.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean we don't love each other or care about each other.
Yeah.
Right? We don't have to be mad at each other because of it or stop talking to somebody.
So for your mental and family health, you just felt it was time to kind of.
Yep. It's funny because I just went to a men's conference and it was like a flashback, right? It was in Missouri. There's Matthew 18, right? It's if you have a problem with a brother, you walk in silence, you walk into a room one-on-one, have a conversation. If he doesn't want to abide by what the conversation, then you bring 2 others along with you. That's step 2. And if that doesn't abide them, then you bring the whole church with you and say, hey, look, right? Whether it's an alcohol problem or it's a situational thing, you don't just put it out in public first and like, you know what I mean? And put that display. But yeah, that's where that is. And I'm like, hey, look, I just want to make sure I could do it with everybody. It's like, hey, I got an open door here policy.
Yeah.
You know, if you're my friend, I should be able to talk to you and you should be able to talk to me. If you're my parents or my sister or brother-in-law, I should be able to talk to you and you should be able to talk to me. But not on an as-needed basis. It should be all the time. So.
Do you think you'll ever reconnect?
I don't know.
Do you want to?
I got to be honest. There's times I think about it, and there's times I'm like, I think everything's good right now.
Yeah, you don't want to stir
It's a good
the
spot,
pot.
right?
Yeah.
If they knock on the door, absolutely. Right? But I'd never not want to talk to my kids.
Yeah.
It'd be the hardest thing in the world.
Yeah.
And unless they said, hey, you're causing a problem over here, just tell me and I'll back off, right? Because I can be overbearing now. Don't get me wrong.
But like you said, you should want to fix the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. And then now it's been 10 years. Instead of fixing it in a month, now it's 10 years.
It just gets worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, now it's harder and harder.
Yeah.
To be like, okay, we're used to this life now.
Where do we begin to fix this?
Yeah. And my thing nowadays is too, like, I'm not going to rehash the past. What's the future hold?
Yeah.
Like I really found God like 3 years ago. And it's like the devil attacks you when you go back to the past. Yeah. I'm about the present and the future. So how do we move forward with this type of situation? And that's anything. That's business. That's friendships. That's whatever. Family life, same thing. But
so you kind of alluded to some ups and downs along the way.
Yeah.
And, you know, you've created a pretty nice vision of success. Tell me about some really hard times that you went through over the last 20 years.
Hard times. Early on financially, it's like, all right, I had my second kid at 22, Brandon. So he's 27 now, Zach's 30. And I turned into a workaholic at a young age. So what does that do for your relationship with your wife?
Yeah.
So there was a lot of stress that, we thought we were good, but then there was a lot of being so young, not knowing, high school sweetheart, right? So dated at 16. And it's like, okay, we just kept moving, got married at 19, and then was married for 16 years.
Checking boxes.
Checking boxes and not knowing how to really being in a relationship. Because even when being married, I was still working all the time. So it's like, that's one of the big struggles, right? Is just even how to have a conversation.
You sound just like one of my previous guests, Harvey.
Oh, yeah.
He has King's Community.
Mm-hmm.
He said the same thing. He said he got married young, and they didn't know how to have a healthy relationship. They were just going through marriage willy-nilly, and he was a follower. He wasn't the dominant male. And he was just kind of like,
I won't
saying that that's what you're
doing.
No,
I won't say I wasn't the dominant male because the kids dominated the relationship.
Yeah.
Because as I got older, then all sports came along, right? Wrestling, baseball, football. And what Pat have to do, he had to coach all of them. So it's like, all right, not only did I throw myself there, right? Then I put myself in, I was working a ton, working out, and coaching both kids in sports at the same time. And it's like, all right, zero time for relationship. No wonder it didn't work out, So, yeah, I mean, there's always two sides to everything, but, I put a lot of blame on me for that.
Yeah.
Just because I was ignorant to the fact that I wasn't in the relationship. I had a relationship, just wasn't in it.
You weren't present.
Right. And if you're not present in something, you can't grow something.
Did you know you weren't present?
Not till after the fact. And I was like, okay, I messed up there. Let's fix that.
Yeah.
Let's fix that. And that's the thing. If I'm, shame on me if I don't fix those type of things. Now, I wasn't able to fix that marriage, but, and it came to a point where I didn't want to. And it's like, okay, we're going our separate ways, and this is what's going to happen. But, thank God I found Kate.
Yeah.
She's a blessing. She knew what I was all about at the beginning and accepted my 2 sons. And it's been 10 years married now for
Awesome.
Kate and I, and we have a 9.5-year-old daughter. Well, it'll be 11 years we'll be married, so.
So 10 years together. So you guys met when you were hot and heavy into your business journey.
I just started Reaction Nutrition. So I was about 1.5 years into Reaction.
Okay.
And then she started becoming part of our life, and then married in 2013. And she just knew I was a workaholic. So
she accepted that.
She accepted that. She knew who I was. And even now she's like, I know you're never going to stop working. I'm like, it's just in me. I don't know how to take it out. And that's the hard part. Like,
so you said you weren't present in your previous marriage.
Yeah.
Have you tried to make effort to be more present? Did you learn from your
Oh,
mistakes?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. My boys say, man, you got really soft. I was like, I like to think of it as becoming very smart, right? And I've learned what to stress over and what not to stress over, which not much stresses me out anymore. They're like, how are you so calm all the time? I'm like, I've been through from the shit house to the penthouse and back down again. So yeah, I've learned, and when I say that has nothing to do with money. It's just life, right? It'll pick you up, it'll knock you back down, and then it'll pick you up again. And each time there's a lesson to be learned. Like, don't make that mistake again. Or, hey, don't go that route, go this route.
Well, I think being self-aware that there's a lesson in front of you.
Yeah.
Some people just, ignore that.
And if I was 25, 30 years old, I would never see it.
Yeah.
Now I can look back, you see it. You're like, oh, okay. That turned into a blessing. Because otherwise I made the same mistake over again. So, but yeah, now it's being present is a big deal. And sometimes I still make the mistake of not being present, even if I'm there on my phone doing work or whatever. I'm like, they're like, can't you just put the phone down? I'm like, I'm trying. I'm really trying.
So she tries to kind of reel you in.
Yeah, I know she does a good job at it.
Good.
Yeah, she's super active, always doing something, going somewhere. We're always involved somehow, shape, or form with something. So we're always, But she lets me do my thing too, right? And then I was just at a pirate game in a cigar shop last night. So I'm like, this is great.
Yeah.
No worries. She's like, okay, whenever you get home, you get home.
Well, I think, that shows respect and trust. The fact that she knows you work your ass off.
Yeah.
And, I think, I'm not your wife, but I think you deserve to enjoy some things.
It's fun. I've got to enjoy a lot of cool stuff recently, so.
Okay. I want to talk about some of that cool stuff. But first, you're wearing Project One, everything, and it's all behind us.
Yeah.
What started Project One Nutrition?
My son coming to me and saying, Dad, I need 5,000 units of creatine. I'm like, for what? He's like, I got a customer that needs that much. No one can get a hold of creatine. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll get it made for you. He's like, what are we going to call it? I'm like, I don't know, I'll figure something out. So we came across Project One Nutrition. We're going to call it Project One Nutrition. So then a month later, he's like, hey, now they want a pre-workout. I'm like, is this going to ever end? He's like, probably not. I'm like, darn it. Because he was the national sales manager at Axe. So he had a lot of wholesale accounts. And just sprung off of that. I'm like, all right, I'll formulate. You guys run it. So now my son, Zach, is part owner, co-founder of Project One. Greg Rudolph's co-founder of Project One. Myself is the additional founder. And then Tiago Gomez. He does all our marketing design work. He's a small partner as well. And then Brandon, my other son, is the CFO. He does all the financials, so forth. But he's pretty much an owner too. And we have about 6 or 7 marketing people now. And yeah, it's just.
So that was established 2022.
2022.
So only 2 years.
And what a ride already. Like, I thought Axe was a big deal. And in a short period of time, had a collaboration with Kurt Angle. Pretty cool. Does really good internationally. I didn't realize how many international wrestling fans there are. There's a ton. We had just launched a partnership with Martha Stewart, which if you ask me, would I ever do anything with Martha Stewart? I'm like, heck no. I was able to do a collab with Icy, Dippin' Dots, Warner Brothers with Axe.
Yeah.
And then rolling over, I met a lady in New York. she's like, what do you think about working with Martha Stewart? I'm like, if you can make that happen, get us a meeting, I'm in.
What would make someone even approach you about that? Like, how did that idea even?
Well, I had the marketing friend from Axe that I had when I was with Axe. Carol, she's like, hey, I can't keep working with you because you're not part of Axe, and it'd be a conflict of interest, right? So no worries. She introduced me to a lady called Christine up in New York. And then we start going back and forth, and she started laying some things out, and I'm like, she's like, what about Martha Stewart? I'm like, if you can get us a meeting with Martha Stewart, let's do it. Let's get the meeting. Let's see what we can do. So 2 weeks later, we were in New York City with Marquee Brands, who runs Martha's brand, and walked out of there with a deal to do Martha Stewart. And it was like a year ago. Greg and I went up there. I'm like, how in the hell did we just land this?
How did that feel walking out of that office building?
I'm like, well, I've always been in like bodybuilding, sports nutrition products. And I'm like, this is a whole new game right here.
Like a wellness product.
It's health and wellness brand. So it's collagen, marine-based collagen. Martha's Daily Greens, which is 18 grams per scoop. It's this huge greens product she takes every day. And then her reds she takes every day. And just coming out of there, I'm like, okay, this just revitalized myself to start pushing forward again and be like, all right, we got some big things coming. So we launched that March 2nd, sold out of collagen in a day. I'm like, how did we just sell out of 3 flavors of collagen in a day? This is ridiculous. I think there's still some on Amazon, but like our website, there's none to be had. And there's some big things coming with that down the road. We have a collaboration with Casey Mitchell. He's part of Project One Nutrition now, the one-legged monster.
Yep.
Power lifter. But I mean, if you don't know him, go follow him. His story, it's not just about being the one-legged monster. There's so much more to this guy. Like, he's on the Olympic golf team. Like, he's a scratch, right? He's a scratch golfer. I'm like, this guy's a scratch golfer. He's like, Pat, I love golf. We need to go sometime.
He's Midwest.
Bakersfield, California.
Oh, that's not Midwest.
Yeah. But he's getting
Casey. I need you on here, man.
Casey Mitchell, Bakersfield, California. If he ever comes in, when he comes into the warehouse, we'll get him on here.
We'll
get him on. Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah,
Is there enough room in here for him? He's pretty big.
He's a big dude. Yeah, he's a big guy. I don't know, but yeah, we have a product for him coming out.
Yeah,
Overkill.
Yeah, that's the pre-workout, right?
That's an extreme pre-workout. That was his best product. He had a brand himself and got away from the game a little bit. Had a falling out with a couple partners, and now we're revitalizing that and bringing it back, which is crazy. Through relationships, he followed Project One, and now he's part of our team. So it's pretty exciting. And then we have vegan proteins coming out in a couple weeks with Ana Capozzoli. She'll be the front of that. Fitness lady from down in Florida, really knows her stuff. She was a bodybuilding competitor, fitness competitor, turned into vegan because of a lot of the issues she had, and has a huge training platform for women.
Yeah.
And
I kind of indirectly know Anna.
Yeah, through Dennis?
Yes. So Bella, my stepdaughter, is friends with Ariana, Denny's daughter.
Gotcha.
And Bella had gone down to Florida to visit with them a few times.
Nice.
So she lived with Anna and Denny for, while they were down there. But
that's pretty cool. Yeah, Denny's the one that introduced us to Seth, and now he introduced us to Ana. I'm like,
got anything else?
Who are you, Denny? What's happening here? And he's such a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I haven't seen him we saw him about 6 months ago, but he was up in PA. But
that's wild.
Yeah.
Did you meet Martha?
Not yet.
Are you going to?
The plan for Marquee is for us to meet her. We were hoping to meet her 2 weeks ago when we were up there. 2 weeks ago. Yeah. We were back up there, and she was in New Orleans and then receiving an award in Washington, D.C. So they're like, hey, look, next time, because she lives 45 minutes from their office.
Yeah, she's in New York.
Yeah, she's in New York. So they're like, okay, that's the one person I want to meet. I'm not starstruck by anybody.
Yeah.
But an icon like that, kind of want to meet her.
Yeah, I mean, she's an icon.
Yeah.
A cultural
worldwide
icon.
Yeah. 83 years old, was on the swimsuit issue.
She's 83?
83. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. After the Justin Bieber roast, I would have guessed she was like 65, but I'm like, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but yes, 83, and she's still moving like a son of a gun. She's everywhere.
Yeah, I was watching something that she was on. She was walking through her greenhouse, multiple greenhouses, And like she's so smart. She knows
Yeah.
every plant and flower, and she's a
There's she's starting a series called Masterclass. I don't know if you've seen it at all or not, but it's about being an entrepreneur and how she was 50 when she started her whole collection of businesses. 50 years old.
she didn't start till 50. I think she's part of like a group of celebrities like Clint Eastwood didn't start.
Till he was older.
Right.
Colonel Sanders. He was like 60.
That's crazy.
And now KFC's everywhere.
Wow.
It's pretty wild.
It's never too late.
Never too late. Never too late. There's a fear to it, but you just got to take the step, take the jump, take the leap. It's worth
With the
it.
faith.
Yeah.
What product over the last 20 years are you most proud of?
Oh, jeez.
If you can't pick one, well, give me your top
The
three
next
products.
one's always the next best one. No.
See, what's seriously like, Pat? What's the product that you're just like, I nailed that?
We'll just go back to Axe days. Hydraulic was, that and Demo Day,
Okay.
right? Hydraulic and Demo Day were the two. And it's you take them together. One's a carb source, a high and low glycemic carb with a sugar transfer on a Demo Day, and no one's ever seen anything like it. They're like, why are you putting all these together? And I'm like, okay. When you take it with hydraulic, the pump you're going to get, it's going to be freaking outrageous.
I used to do it.
Yeah, it's outrageous, and people don't realize you need a carb source to help push that through. And I'm like, and with the hydraulic having 5 patent ingredients together, and actually watch people's before and after just one gym session is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right. So hydraulic would be one. Demo Day, there's nothing else on the market like it. It's just not. And then the new P1 test.
Yeah.
All right. There's another product called Daily Cleanse, a cleanser. That has P1 test has 4 patent ingredients. Cellflow 6 for your anxiety, stress levels, lowers cortisol, right? So when you lower cortisol levels, frees up natural testosterone.
Yes. Cortisol kills.
Yes.
Now, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a few natural bodybuilding competitors that compete with the OCB.
Yep.
Do you know if these would pass?
These would pass.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
And that's why we use the 4 patent ingredients. There's so many studies on them, right? Shilajit mushroom, it's a big deal. Primavera is the patent ingredient, but Shilajit's huge right now. Lion's mane's in there. That's not a patent ingredient, but lion's mane's huge. Ashwagandha, KSM 66. It's known as the 24K of ingredients, voted the top ingredient in the world right now. So that's in there as well. And bioperine is the other patent ingredient that helps absorb all those products. There's some tribulus in there and a few others as well to really push through. But the results on it's been crazy. If you stay on that for 8 weeks, about week 3 or 4, you'll notice a rise in energy, lean muscle gains, loss of weight. Your appetite's going to go through the roof because your testosterone's releasing, which will make you more, you're hungrier. But yeah, it's a legit product.
What's the recommended serving?
4 capsules.
Okay.
And my recommendation, what I tell people is either all 4 capsules before bed or 2 before bed, 2 in the morning.
Okay.
Your body is a relaxed state, which allows testosterone to increase while sleeping. That's when you can maximize your testosterone production.
True or false? A man's testosterone level is highest in the morning.
Highest first thing in the morning.
That's what I thought.
Highest first thing.
Okay.
Because they're able to relax all night. Productivity happens overnight, and then when they get up, it's at the highest rate. So taking 2 at night and 2 first thing in the morning would be ideal. All 4 at night would be perfect, but people have different strategies. That's my strategy, and it works.
I like it.
Yeah, but that's a fun one. And then lastly, Daily Cleanse. I'm coming out with another cleanser product, a little amped up, but it's liquid Drano for the body.
Yeah,
that's
gut
all it
health,
is.
right?
Gets all the excess crap out of the
Literally.
intestines. Yeah, and it's a daily. You can take it every day.
Okay.
People lose weight and get energy off it. So pretty cool.
Do you think that would help people with like celiac and Crohn's and those
Absolutely.
like autoimmunes and stuff?
Yeah. My wife has celiac disease, so yeah, daily cleanse is important. Greens and reds are important. The Project One Nutrition greens and reds, I put digestive enzymes and probiotics in them. Same with our protein. There's a digestive enzyme and probiotic, so it breaks down so your stomach can actually absorb it instead of just lumping it all in there and saying, hey, let's see if this processes. No, we want to maximize everything. So
Because I know whey protein powders can be really hard on your
Oh
gut.
yeah, yeah. You
Bloating
bloated, bubble
and
gut, and gas farts.
Like, oh my gosh. Like I've had some. I don't take my gosh, I don't take whey protein anymore for that reason. It just tears me apart.
Yeah.
I haven't. I honestly, I haven't taken yours yet,
I don't either.
but
I take like 2 or 3 products. That's it.
yeah, I try to limit my supplement. Honestly, I've been taking Embrax for my pre-workout. It just kind of like warms me up a
Yeah.
little bit,
Yeah. Just enough.
just enough.
Yeah. I do 2 scoops of Amnox, a scoop of Quantum, and I'm ready to go. Oh yeah.
That'll get you ready.
It gets me ready, and then
Yeah.
I take our collagen.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah.
Now
I
I
have-
take P1 test, but
This
that's
is
all it
empty.
takes.
This is for display only.
Oh.
So I need some more Quantum X.
Oh, we can do that. I know a guy.
Do you?
Yeah. I know a guy. I can help
You
with
are
that.
the guy. So you sort of alluded to you learned as you kind of like went through this journey as far
Yeah.
as like formulations. Did you study anything in particular to learn about how all of these things react with each other, go together, or is it just kind of like learn?
No,
on the
I
fly?
mean, got taught some of it back in the SciFit days of why certain formulations were together. And then there's always new ingredients coming out. So the nerd in me would be like, okay, I love this stuff. Let me read up on it and see how it can help. And what are the synergistic approaches that we can put with it to maximize whatever it is we're trying to attain. The one thing in our industry is people like to formulate on a dollar value. Like, hey, I need a fat burner. Can you make it for $4? I'm like, no, I don't want to. It's not going to be a quality fat burner. You just want caffeine in a pill? Is that what you want? And I'm like, no, let's make the best product. If it comes in at X amount, we just need to sell it for X amount and be okay with that. Because I'm not going to put a subpar product out there. So if it's a private label, go for it. But if it's our name on it, I'm not going to do that. And it's just a lot of studying. Yeah. And now I'm at a point where the relationships with the patent ingredient people, they'll come to me and say, hey, Pat, do you want to try this ingredient out? You want to use it? Here's all the documentation. We're patent pending, but we know you like this kind of stuff, so do you want to use it? I'm like, okay, give me the things that are good with, show me all the studies, and, it might be a 40-page report, and just read up on it. And
That's wild.
it's cool, though.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the fun stuff for me, though.
Yeah.
People will be like, I never want to do that. I'm like, no, that's what I want to do.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's cool to do that kind of thing.
How long roughly does it take from the thought of a new product to it actually being available retail?
Nowadays, to do it right with all the marketing and everything else, you're looking 4 to 6 months, which
Okay.
isn't that bad.
That's shorter than I thought.
No. The production time is only 6 to 8 weeks, which through my manufacturer that we use. A lot of manufacturers are a lot longer, but between label design and build and product name, the formula is usually already done up front. And then all the marketing that goes along with it, that usually was what takes the most time.
Okay. So the manufacturer is a lab,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well, the one we use is a couple 100,000 square feet over in California.
Wow.
Yeah.
How often do you go out there?
Minimum once a year. Do a quality assurance audit. It's mandatory through FDA to have a questionnaire filled out and do an audit. And plus, we like the guys, so we go out there. It's
Not a bad
California.
thing.
It's
Oh, yeah.
California, right?
Yeah.
So usually the weather's pretty good. We go
You pick
go
the
to a
winter time
game
to
or
go?
whatever. Usually,
Yeah.
And we went this past December.
Good.
So yeah, but yeah, it's the product you see and everything that goes behind it. Just like anyone's story, I mean, there's a whole story behind manufacturing that no one sees. They think things just magically appear in 6 to 8 weeks. What manufacturers have to go through nowadays is just insane. Insane amount of paperwork, insane amount of people.
So the risk is with them.
Yeah, it's with the end user and with them. Yes, we're both carrying liability. Like, if you don't have a heavy liability insurance, then, But at the same time, the FDA regulates it, but they don't believe in it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like they'll say what you can do and can't do, but if you can't can't put an FDA statement on your containers or say the FDA approved. No, that's not a thing. The facility might be FDA approved.
Okay.
The products are not. Like if you will use white willow bark, which is just a natural flower ground down, they don't believe that's a weight loss, water loss type of product. Yeah.
A lot of red tape.
A lot of red tape. A lot of red tape.
How do you know how much of a product to have produced at one time? Like say it's a brand new, like P1 test.
Yeah.
How do you know how much to start with?
Now we got a couple thousand bottles in, and we sold half of them pretty quick. And it's just based off our wholesale accounts and what our analytics show back end for the website, right? So we have an idea with the Martha Collagen. Thought we had enough for a couple weeks, had enough for 2 days. And so it was like a crapshoot. I'm like, we have no clue what to expect here.
Yeah.
None. So we have a little bit of the reds and greens left, but the collagen wiped out quick.
How long to pump out more collagen, for instance?
We'll have it again next week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just got picked up Friday, so we'll have it next week. So they rushed. Our manufacturer's like, okay, we're ready for this.
Help.
Let's go. So in a week and a half, 2 weeks, they got us more product pretty quick. So thanks to them. Yeah, Eric, good job. Good job. Yeah, I always wanted a T-shirt like that, just a thumbs up that said "good job," and then if someone did a good job, you just throw them a T-shirt and say "good job." Here.
Dude, you want to come? Just do it.
Well, that's
Make
what
it.
everyone says, Pat. You just create companies to have apparel. I'm like, yeah, that's all I wear: gym pants and T-shirts.
Yeah.
and,
Isn't it funny how
and hats.
Yeah, how like the new wardrobe for most of the world is leggings or joggers
Yeah.
and T-shirts.
That's it. That's it. Because they're usually now they're on Zoom calls
Yeah,
and they pull that collared shirt across.
I know.
They're in their PJs, whatever.
What
pretty wild.
what are you wearing from the waist down? Shorts.
My son always kills me because I'll call him and he'll say, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, "What are you wearing?" It's just a joke, right? I do it with people, and everyone in my car is like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "It's just a funny thing. What are you wearing?"
All right.
That's
I know
that's the dad jokes in me.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah,
give me a dad joke, Pat. Oh, you didn't come all this way to not give me a dad
I got to do a
joke.
clean one.
You don't? No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
Okay.
I haven't done. Dude, when I was in deep doing dad jokes, I was getting 200, 300,000 views. Insane.
No way.
Yeah, that was inappropriate dad joke Friday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when my daughter asked me to do an inappropriate joke at 6 years old, I had to stop doing it. And I gave her this joke. Why do squirrels swim on their back?
I don't know, Pat. Why?
To keep their nuts dry. It's simple, right? It's so simple.
It's just
Now, the
it's
problem
just
with this,
clean
so
enough.
I thought, yeah, just clean enough, but I thought it was clean for my 7-year-old daughter. And she's like, I get it. I'm like, no, you don't. And she put her arms down, going like this. I'm like, oh, sweet Jesus.
She gets it.
And my wife's like, this is all your fault. I'm like, yeah, okay, we'll cut these a little bit.
Busted.
Yeah, I got a bunch of bad ones, but I can't.
That's fine.
I can't. Yeah. I don't want to make anyone feel bad.
I need to have like another segment on here. It's like I don't want to steal the dad joke thing. So that's like yours and Greg's thing.
No, we just did it once. I owned them, but
do you see the You've seen the skits about like try not to laugh, like
Oh,
Will Ferrell and
yeah,
Mark
yeah.
Wahlberg. Like
yeah.
those are fun.
What's the mermaid's favorite laundry detergent? Tide. See, it's the little dumb things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
That,
yeah.
I will not laugh at that. That's
No.
just dumb.
No.
Give
You're
me
laughing
another,
now.
Give me another. Yeah, I'm laughing because I feel like I have to laugh.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Give me another one.
Oh,
Give me
man.
another clean dad joke.
It's hard because it's clean. I don't know if I can do clean ones.
I can
another
bleep
clean
out
one?
the bad part.
No, the ones that are bad are all bad.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to put you on the spot then.
Like what? No, I can't say. The one I was going to say, they'll all be like, I can't believe you said that. No, I don't want to get you in trouble.
So my channel is already restricted for 18 and over.
Oh, wow.
You want to know how that happened, Pat?
Please.
I did an episode with Jen Miller.
Yeah.
She talked about her battle with anorexia.
Okay. And that.
And YouTube restricted my whole channel because they felt, and I've already talked about this on one other episode, and I don't know if YouTube's going to like get mad at me for talking about it, but they felt like it was not appropriate for a young audience, which
To
blows my
understand the
mind.
battle.
Because do you know how many kids are probably dealing with that right now
Yeah.
that need to know about it?
Yeah. Yeah. Anorexia, addiction, self-harm,
Yeah.
right? Kids hide behind that. Men hide behind it,
It
right?
needs brought
It
to
needs
the
spoken
forefront.
about.
Yeah.
And if you don't speak about it, how are people going to be like, oh, look,
There's help.
this person went through this, and they're getting better and they're okay.
Yeah.
Like, how do you not? I don't understand that at all.
I don't understand it either. I thought it was for the thumbnail. I don't know if you saw the thumbnail,
No.
but her boobs are on my head. It's fairly provocative. So initially, I'm like, oh, I know why, but that wasn't even the
That's
reason.
not even why. I'm like,
they were
man,
fine with that.
that's absurd.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, thanks for bringing that type of stuff to the forefront.
yeah, it's a shame.
Getting people to know that, hey, this is a real issue and
Yeah.
needs to be dealt with, and you're okay to be dealing with it.
Yeah.
You're not alone.
If you went through something in your past that you want to help someone deal with, or a struggle that you had that you learned a lot from that you can help someone else, what would that be?
I mean, I coached for a long time, so I've always considered myself a leader, right? And the definition of leader to certain people mean different things. I just want to make sure that, like, student teaching young people how to live in network life, right? And how to maintain control of your life by making the right decisions, not decisions that are going to put you in circumstances where you have no choice. Like, and like being a young dad, it's like, hey, you want to talk, you want to have a teenage male or female talk to somebody, have them come talk to me and what it's like to be 19 and be a father.
Yeah.
And what I missed out on. I don't see it that way now, but at the time you're like, okay, all my friends were 21 going out to bars doing all this and I'm working. And it's like, okay, let's have this conversation. It's just helping other men as well. Like I guess I mentioned that I run a men's group with another gentleman, Keith, and Demetrius, two other guys, and there's some guys going through some addictions like pornography and things of that nature, and it's like, all right, and they wonder why their wives are upset. I'm like, look, actions speak louder than words, right? Your actions is what's going to prove that you still love this person.
Yeah.
But your choices are what got you in this situation. So
yeah,
can't blame anybody but yourself.
Right.
For your choices.
It's okay to make bad choices because we all do.
Correct. Oh, we're human beings.
But you got to learn from them. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that they don't want to change.
Yeah.
Or they feel like they haven't done anything wrong and everyone else has to comply with them. I think there's got to be a balance there.
Yeah, there's a balance. And for me now, it's like I don't need a bunch of people around me. I want some people around me that are going to hold me accountable and be like, Pat, hey, great job doing this. Not so great job doing this.
Yeah.
And then I can have that kind of relationship and trust with, right? Because that's my biggest issue in life is trust issues. I've had them since I was a young kid. Just trust issues. I was always waiting for someone to bail, always waiting for someone to step away or do something, right? So I was never, ever 100% in.
What do you think caused that trust issue? Did you experience anything in
I don't know.
particular?
I don't think it was something in particular. Just the way, I don't know if it was the way I was raised or what. Just like, hey, I always had to watch my back for certain things, and now I'm like, okay, I'm strong enough mentally and physically both that I can overcome anything, and I want to make sure my family's taken care of the right way. That look, no one can say or do anything that's going to hurt me because everyone knows everything about me.
Yeah.
People that know me know me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's that. It's like if you're hiding something, eventually it comes out, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And I always say that if you have a friend, eventually the truth comes out about that person, right? If they're trying to hide something or not saying something, it comes out.
Right.
It comes out.
And it's okay to be vulnerable. I think a lot of men think that vulnerability is a sign of weakness, but it's actually the complete opposite.
It's the opposite. Yeah, I agree with you.
How has your friend circle changed over the years? Obviously, you had sort of a falling out with your parents.
Yep.
Because you just were not seeing eye to eye about things. Do you feel like your friend circle has changed? Have you dropped friends because they just didn't fit into your ideology and your morality and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, over the years, they went from like coaching friends because I coach so much, and then it went to, I still have my brother-in-law Chico that I'm still really close with, and so forth. I have some guys from church I'm really close with now that are involved, but my circle's gotten a lot tighter and smaller, and it just through transitions in life, like season. Again, we come back to the word seasons, but transitions. My sons got older; they quit playing sports. They got their own lives going on, so those and their kids went a different direction. So it's like you don't see them as much anymore. But it's just yeah. I have 3 or 4 really close friends that we do stuff together, and I talk to every day, and I don't have to stress.
Yeah. I think it's hard to make time for friends sometimes too.
Yeah.
Especially as a business owner.
Yeah.
I find myself, I just get lost in my own world.
Right.
And I'll read a friend's text message and I won't respond for 2 days and I feel like a piece of shit. But, I think you have to make a conscious effort to remain present.
Right. In anything you do.
Yeah.
Like, I only go in the office on Tuesdays normally. Now it's a couple more days, but depending on with the Martha release and everything else going on. Excuse me. But, and then there's a couple of close friends actually work with us now. Like, they're like, oh, I don't want paid or anything. I just want to be part of it. That's
awesome.
Like, I know this is going to be big. I just want to be part of it.
Yeah.
And it's turning out to be pretty big.
I'll say.
Blessed. But, yeah, I mean, and honestly, 2 of my closest friends are my sons. One's 30, one's 27. I was like, my one goal in life is to grow up and having my kids want to be part of my life.
I know working with family can be very difficult. Mm-hmm. And you've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
What difficulties have you faced? And I mean, and how is it sometimes easier to be working with your family?
The difficulties is when I'm in the zone, like I'm in the zone. I'm pretty black and white to begin with. Sometimes I may not choose my words as wisely when I'm in the zone, and I'm like, no, this is the way it's going to happen. This is the way we need to do it. This is what I've experienced and learned. And if you can't do it, I'll find someone that can. And it doesn't matter if you're like, I check the family friends box out the window. I chuck it out the window whenever it comes to business.
Yeah.
Like, look, I want to help you succeed. I want to move you along in business, help you create a job for you, do the best I can for family and friends and everything else. But at the end of the day, you got to do the work.
Does the reciprocator of that attitude understand that it's now a business relationship and not to take it personally?
Some do, some don't. Yeah, and some get a little butthurt and emotional. And business, I'm not emotional. I'm unemotional when it comes to business. Now, outside, once you step outside the glass door, okay. Look, but I think they understand that I'm there to help them. I'm not there to just monetize off of what they're doing.
Sure.
That's not my goal. It's to build people. Like, I tell everyone that walks through our door, I don't care if in 5 years, I make them fill out a goal sheet. Tell me what your goals are, personal goals. I don't want to know business goals. I want to know what are your goals in life so that I can help you achieve those. Hopefully you stay with us and do it and achieve those. But if not, at least I know that you took something away from here that can advance you, because we have a lot of younger people. Mm-hmm. And that's the goal. And it's mostly a mindset thing for them. It's like a lot of one-on-ones.
I think that really shows the overall mission of Project One Nutrition is like, it's almost like a family. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you have one-on-ones with all of your employees, a lot of companies, even small, large, doesn't matter. They don't do that because it's almost like they don't care how the employee feels or thinks or what their opinions are. Just do the work. Yeah.
My thing is once you're a part of my life and an employee of mine, whether it's from this Project One journey or a different journey, like I was just golfing with a guy yesterday from another past company. And I'm like, hey, he still has a spot in my heart that I'm trying to help him get to another level. So
it's more as a partnership then.
Yeah, it's more of a mentorship, I think. Yeah. For me, it's like, okay, I've been through a lot of stuff we didn't even talk about, but how do we help these people grow? Because at the end of the day, we don't take anything with us. It's how many people have you affected.
Amen, man.
Yep. So that's why I look at it now.
I mean, yeah, I like that.
And if I can teach them well enough, the people in Project One, I get to spend less time at the office.
That's
because I do have a 22-month-old granddaughter now. Way different than being a dad. Just like yesterday, Zach's like, "Hey, Gianna, no on that cupcake. I'm like, bring it over to Pa. Ripped open. Here you go." He's like, "Why do you got to do that?" I'm like, "Because I'm Pa. I'm the good guy now for once."
That is awesome.
I'll continue to be the good guy.
You can do whatever you want as a
Yep.
grandparent.
Yeah, absolutely. Sugar them up.
Yep.
Sugar them up.
Because you don't have to worry about putting them to bed.
No. I get the blessing to see her like 4 or 5 days a week. So
That's awesome.
yeah, I get to enjoy that.
Let's arm wrestle.
Oh, shoot.
I'm
I
actually
knew this
nervous.
was, you shouldn't be nervous because I'm not that strong anymore.
Well, you look strong.
Don't hurt me.
Maybe it's that nice.
I do good at the gym.
Project One Nutrition.
That's what
shirt.
it is. It might be. I should take some P1 tests before we do this. I will say up front I'm left-handed, but that's okay.
Well, you're in my house. You play by
I
my
know.
rules.
I know. I figured that as much.
So
What's the rules?
there are none.
No rules? Okay, so I can kick you right under here. Kick you in the shin and go. Makes sense. You're a lot younger than me, so be careful.
I'm 45.
Oh, so that's a lot younger. I'll be
That's
50.
not a lot.
5 years.
So I do want to say the episode that is releasing Monday, April 22nd, which
Okay.
is in 2 days from right now. Drew.
Oh, yeah, Drew the Barber.
Yes.
Oh, I'll get my hair cut there.
Do you?
Style and Grace? Absolutely.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You won't believe what he's been through.
Oh. He was part of my men's group, so I kind
Okay,
of...
so maybe you would. Dude.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't want to spoil
Hey,
anything.
like I always say, look, everyone has a story. All you got to do is ask them about it, but be willing to listen.
Dude.
Be willing to listen to people. Everyone has a great story,
Oh, my gosh.
and what he's overcome is crazy, crazy. And the business that he's built,
Oh, my God.
yeah,
Talk about someone to look up to.
yes. And he's a young guy,
Yeah, he's like 30.
33, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, he was sipping on amino EV before the arm wrestling, and we had a stalemate.
Oh.
It went on for 3 minutes.
Oh, I'm not doing that.
It was.
I'll let you win
ridiculous.
before I do that.
He did not want to give up.
No, he's
It
a
was
strong
wild.
dude.
Yes.
He's a strong dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, he called Project One out a few times during that episode. So
I love
he's
it,
the man.
I love it.
So you just start whenever you want. I'm gonna
Look,
ask
you got me already. No, there we go.
I'm in hot. I'm gonna ask you a question as we do this.
Go ahead.
You start whenever you want.
No, it's your podcast, and you start.
And go.
I'm going to try to hold you.
Okay, you were talking about 5-year goals for your employees.
5-year goals.
Personal goals.
Yes.
What are yours?
Mine is to help as many people as possible in those 5 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's good.
You're good?
Yeah, we're good.
That's a stalemate.
I know.
You could have taken me easy, but
I like to be a gentleman.
I appreciate that. I told you I'm old.
So if somebody beats me on this episode or on the show, they get to take a bottle of bourbon home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You didn't say that up front.
You would have tried harder.
I would. Left-handed, too. No, I'm joking.
That's right. I thought you were left.
No, 5-year goal. It's tough now. I'm achieving a lot of my goals, and it's like, all right, set the next one, right?
Yeah.
And my goals now are just for my son is to be at a certain level, my daughter to get to a certain level, even though she's young, and create some kind of generational wealth that they can keep carrying on the same traditions I carry on,
I love it.
right? And I think that's more important than anything else.
Do you see yourself retiring anytime soon? Like, what's it going to take for you to be able to just step
No,
away?
I can't stop.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Well, I know why because I'm so used to it, but I like being surrounded by people I can have an influence on, a positive influence on. So, I'm able to teach a lot of the guys in our office now, a lot of the people, showing them some patience that took a while for me to get a grasp. Still don't have it that well down, but help them with their walk, like their relationships, things of that nature. And they, in turn, help me out. Like they keep me level grounded and humble at times. So it's
Yeah.
like that's where I'm at.
Why don't you start some sort of business mentorship after you retire? Like I don't want to say a training class.
Yeah, I had thought about that a while back, but I'm just like, I don't know what I would do.
It's better than a Walmart greeter.
I wanted to be a Walmart greeter. How'd you know about that? Did I tell you that?
No.
Seriously? How did you, like, that's one of my things retiring. I just want to sit out in front of Walmart and give smiley stickers out and talk to people. Like, they don't have to pay me. Like, where was I the other day? Giant Eagle? And they're like, you want a job here? I'm like, what? Like, you're greeting people at the door. Do you know these people? I'm like, no. I don't know them. Just say hi to them. I say hi to everybody.
That's awesome.
Pumping gas, say hi to them. That's all.
Random acts of kindness.
Yeah. I don't know. I like talking to people now.
Yeah.
just seeing who they are, what they do. Maybe they can inspire me. I can inspire them. Oh. You know,
That's
the fun.
inspiring, man. I didn't know, like, I guess I didn't know this much about you as far as how much positivity you kind of give off.
I was so intense for so long. Like, for so long. So now I'm like.
So this is sort of like a new Pat.
I'd say in the last 3, 4, 5 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was so intense on, like, I was so intense on winning and proving people wrong. Where I'm like, why? I don't have to prove anything to anybody.
It's just one big competition for a long time.
For a long time. Like, I'm winning and I work my ass off to win.
Right. Now you're stepping back.
Now
and
it's
looking
like,
at the big picture.
All right, what's the difference between being a winner and a champion? You know, it's the mindset.
Yeah.
And my mindset's not to run over people. It's like to build people. Because back in the day, if I needed to run over you to prove a point that I'm going to win, I'm going to do it. Not in a bad way.
Yeah.
I'm just going to outwork you.
Yeah.
Now it's like, no, I'm going to create people to help lead in a direction that's going to influence others. I think that's what builds a champion. So, you know, it's a mindset thing.
It's admirable, man.
Mindset thing. So
I love it.
yeah. That's what I say. Rome wasn't built in a day. That's one of my new T-shirts that we have. You didn't get it. And I didn't come this far to only come this far.
I got that one.
You got that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't come this far only to come this far.
That's good.
And it's funny because I used to tell the kids in football 15 years ago, get comfortable being uncomfortable, and then Mike Tomlin had to go steal it. I'm like, are you serious? Everyone called me. It's like, Tomlin just used your phrase. I'm like, what are you talking about? Be comfortable being uncomfortable.
I actually say that here and there.
Yeah.
I didn't know where it came from.
Yeah,
We'll say it came from you.
No, it came from someone. I'm sure I took it from somebody, but it wasn't Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're comfortable, that means you're complacent. I'm never complacent. I'm like, what's next? What's next is we got a couple big things coming down the road.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah. Everyone's gonna be like, what in the hell? You just did Martha Stewart and now this? I'm like, here we go.
So bigger than Martha. in a different way.
In a different way, yeah. It's gonna be an oh fuck idea. They're like, oh damn.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Just when I think you couldn't.
That's why I can't retire. There's always something else.
Well, I mean, but seriously, Pat, like I admire people that are driven like you because I'm one of those people. I'm always looking for something else to improve or learn or, you know, do something different. I'm not a complacent cruise control person. And I use that analogy a lot. I'm not a cruise control person.
No. I can't just sit around and do nothing. Yeah, I think I'm wasting what my talent is if I'm just sitting around doing nothing.
I just got done cutting the grass 30 minutes before you pulled up. Like, I find a way to fill every free minute I have.
I just cut my grass for the first time in like 6 years. That's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I had someone cutting it for a long time because I was so busy, and I'm like, I'm gonna go get a mower and cut my grass.
Feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah, I had to go buy a mower to do it.
It's like therapy.
It is. Yeah, I got a 0-turn mower, and I'm learning how to use all. I'm like, this is great.
All right, show off. I pushed the whole time.
That's a better workout.
It
I
is.
got my nephew come to do that. Let's not get carried away.
That's funny.
But no, yeah, it's fun.
Well, before we close out, do you have any questions for me?
Questions for you.
You don't have to ask me anything.
No,
I was just wondering if you have a question.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have a couple.
Okay.
What are your goals in the next 5 years? I always say 1, 3, and 5 year goals, right?
Yeah. I hate to like set materialistic goals because it seems like kind of cliche, but I want to build a dream home in the next 5 years. In order to do that, it's going to take a lot of changes, financial changes. I want to help people too, Pat. Yeah. That's why I have this podcast. Right. This isn't for me. This is for the person sitting in your seat to be able to tell a story that's going to resonate with at least one person that's watching or listening. That's why I have this. The more people I can help, the better. The more subscribers I get, the more views I get, the more people that are going to be helped. So yeah, like you, I just want to help more people.
Yeah.
I want to continue to learn new things. I want to develop and grow my character. I want to develop and grow my relationship with Maria and, you know, see my kids thrive in life. Yeah. Do I want to be rich?
Who
Sure.
doesn't, right? Who
Yeah,
doesn't?
but
It does make life a little easier,
yeah,
you know.
I
But
I, I
it's
would
not
think
everything.
so.
It's not everything.
But yeah, I just like I said, I'm not going to be on cruise control ever.
Yeah.
I'm always open to trying new things and growing from a knowledge standpoint, from a personal standpoint. So I know that wasn't like a direct answer to your
No,
question,
no,
but
that's it.
just always improve.
Yeah. Yeah, it's being around people, and that's what this podcast is. That's why I love it. So
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Because it is. It's reaching out to other people. Hey, look, if you're 19 years old and you think you're in a bad spot, there's still a chance. You just got to work.
Yeah.
Work. And there's more opportunities now to succeed than ever before.
That's true, especially with social media.
Absolutely.
It reaches the globe.
And who was it? It was Dana White. If you're a little bit of a savage nowadays, you'll absolutely kill it. Mm-hmm. You just got to be a little bit of a savage. You know?
There's a lot of conversation around building a brand. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you have a brand, literally a
Yes.
brand, but for something like this is a brand.
Mm-hmm.
Like people are gonna start getting drawn to either me or
Bourbon.
the set or the bourbon, the art. Like I don't know, but you know, this is my brand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's my target audience? Everybody,
Everybody.
right? It's
Yeah,
not
the
one
world.
little niche. It is.
Mm-hmm.
In the world of social media, that's both good and bad. You know, like they say you should really narrow down your target audience. Other times they say don't narrow it down
Right.
because it just, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to find the secret code here.
Yeah, I mean, it is everybody, but you know, when people are already starting to know the name of the podcast, right? And
Yeah.
it gets out there. And as you have people on and you start sharing this and they start sharing it,
Yeah.
like you have Drew, you have myself, you have Chelsea that was on, when you have Greg on, when you have the gentleman you had on recently, they start sharing this, it gets to more and more views. And I think that's, one of these is going to go viral because the story is just going to resonate and they're going to be like, oh, thank you, Shaun, for bringing this to the forefront.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's going to be one that you don't even think possible.
You're probably right.
It's usually what happens.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Like I look back and I'm like, how did this happen again?
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang, I never saw it that way, but it worked out that way. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
Yep. But I'm not going to stop grinding, man.
No.
That's all I know how to do. And I do have a hard time finding the balance sometimes too, and setting my personal life aside. And, you know, because if I'm not working, I'm editing,
Yeah, you're still
or
working. You're
I'm
working.
doing this, or I'm training a client,
Yeah, yeah.
or I'm doing meal plans. Like,
My thing is
always.
like, all right, I guess that's why I have so many employees that are friends of mine or something of that nature, because I can still have them around me while we're working,
yeah,
right? And it's not really work to me,
right.
you know? And it's like, how do I get them involved, right? And then it's a family thing. It's not just like our squad program, right? It's a family thing.
Yeah.
We had those people in end of March. We had a bunch of people in, which Shaun was out of town, couldn't make it.
I couldn't.
They were all. Trust me, they missed you. We're gonna do another one, but
Thank goodness.
but
Of all the times I had to go away for work, it landed on that day.
if you see the people that we're affecting in a positive manner, different sizes, shapes, forms, different athletic attributes, whether it's a Ironman, whether it's a triathlon, whatever it is, a power lifter, soccer mom,
Yeah.
dad that's not doing anything but just working out to keep in shape to get up and off the ground. You know what I mean? We're affecting everybody in that type of aspect. So
Yep.
our company is that, and that's why our motto is you versus you, right? With the help of us, right?
Yes.
So it's a whole thing, but the only person you got to answer to is in the mirror.
Yeah. And that's the same mentality I kind of want to have on this podcast.
Yeah.
Because when I started it, I guess my intent was it to have like a fitness undertone to it. And then I kind of realized that I don't want to discriminate. Like, you don't have to be into fitness to sit in that seat.
No.
I just want to learn about you, man. Like, I don't care if you've never picked up a weight or anything in your life.
Yeah.
But that's sort of like your squad, right?
Same thing.
You don't
Yeah.
discriminate who your squad members are, who your athletes are.
No.
Yeah.
Just I want to know your story.
Yeah.
You know, I want to know. We have a Ryan Sipple. Tell me your story. He just ran the Boston Marathon. Guy's 5'7". I mean, jacked. He's built like Greg. And he just ran the Boston Marathon and finished like at an elite level that he got accepted into Worlds. I'm like, you? No way. Like, if you saw him, you'd be like, no way. But he's strong as shit.
Wow.
And he's a Pittsburgh firefighter. He's a husband. He's a dad of a 1 or 2 year old, and he's just a good dude. I'm like, man, I want to know the rest of your story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what happened? And there's another one, Brian Leak, and he's 37, just graduated. He is now an engineer. Just graduated like a couple years ago. He's 37. Now he's 6'4". He looks like an Iron Man, right? But same thing. He's like, no, this is the effective people helped me get to where I'm at, right? I was in a bad spot, and now I'm here.
It's never too late.
Never too late. I'm like, I love listening to people's stories. Like, what can I learn from them that, that I can advance me,
Yeah.
So we all have one.
Yep.
There's always something.
That's why this.
Yeah.
That's why this exists.
Yeah, and there's gonna be someone on here. You're gonna be like, whoa, like I can't believe that.
Everyone
Everyone has something.
Whoa moments. And it's funny because a lot of my guests, my future guests, they're like, I'm not even that interesting compared to some of the people. I'm like, no, you are, just in a different way.
Different way.
That's all.
Yeah. I always think about like, what's your turn? There's a question. What's your turn back moment? Like, what's a moment in time where you're like, all right, that changed my direction in life?
I mean,
that's a tough question.
Well,
put you on the spot. I'm sorry.
I know that moment.
Yeah.
It was the day that my now ex-wife found out that I was having an affair. That changed everything.
Yeah.
At the time, my world came crashing down. Is the worst moment of my life.
Mm-hmm.
But as I sit here now, it was one of the best days of my life, which can sound crazy.
Yeah.
To some, but I could not be happier in life right now.
Right. That's awesome.
And if that wouldn't have happened, I might not be able to say that.
Right. Yep. Put you on a new path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for hurting people and
Sure,
things along
absolutely.
the way. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like everything happens for a reason.
It does. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. We're put on our right path, and then but now we have to make sure we stay on that path and work hard to get to that direction we want to be. But again, that builds humility. It builds, my thing is, all right, I got to be the man of my house.
Yeah.
Right. With the help of my wife, we make sure that we're doing things the way we want to do them and the right way.
The way you want to do them is all that matters, though.
Yeah. As long as we're doing it together, I drive her crazy. I know it. She knows it. She won't say it. I mean, I tell her she drives me crazy, but I know I'm the one driving her crazy because I just don't stop. So, but that's
It works,
life.
right? It works.
It works for me.
Yeah.
Works for our family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'm fortunate that my daughter got a lot of my traits. So she drives her mother crazy.
I love it.
She goes around telling dad jokes too, so it's good. Yeah.
So you're heading back to the fitness expo,
I'm gonna
right?
go back to Monroeville All American Fieldhouse for the fitness expo. Yeah, they got a 83 power lifter there.
I saw a quick clip on Instagram about that.
Yeah, they had that there, and they have jiu-jitsu competition happening. I don't know what else is going on, but yeah, I'm gonna go up there. Got a few squad members signed up today, and saw some people, old friends that I still hang around in the industry. It's such a small industry. Chaz from Jocko Fuel, which Jocko Willicks. If you have a chance to listen to his podcast, listen to it.
Okay.
He's like an Andrew Frisella type of podcast, but leadership out the wazoo. Just a guy you can listen to all day.
Nice.
Right, and Jocko they got some great products too, great formulas and stuff like that. That's a brand I can back. That's not my brand, right? I try to support other brands that do a good job.
Sure.
They do a great job, and their message is great.
Yeah, it doesn't always have to be a competition.
No,
Yeah.
there's enough for everybody, but
Well, I was going to sign up to volunteer there today, but this
happened. Yeah, I'm glad Janine said, "Hey, don't forget you have Shaun's thing." I was like, "Yeah, I know. I just need to get his address." And then you Instagram, you DM'd me, and I'm like, "Okay,
detail.
we're good." Yeah. But no, I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah.
I know we were kind of all over the place a little bit, but hopefully you got something.
You know, this is not scripted, dude.
This is not scripted.
There's no teleprompter.
No.
I don't have a phone with notes or
No,
anything.
yeah.
We just talk.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Well, thanks for coming, dude.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
I will see you on the next episode of Barbells and Bourbon. Peace.
Good stuff.
Good stuff, man.